Hey there, All Things MSP crew. Welcome back to another Vendor Minute here at All Things MSP. Today I have Leon Black with Sync 365. He's the founder of Sync 365, and he's here to tell us all about his origin story and what Sync 365 is about and what they're doing in the future to help MSPs. So Leon, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks, Eric. Appreciate having me on here.
Yeah, no worries. So how did you kind of get introduced to the MSP space?
Well, so in 2012, I actually started my own MSP and built that over the years to 23 staff. During that process, we were heavily in the ConnectWise space. And anyone that's been with ConnectWise for a while will probably remember Cloud Console that was doing all of our Microsoft billing. And we just had issue after issue with it. So Sync 365 came about to solve that problem in our own MSP.
Well, and that's, how a lot of these products get started in this space is an MSP has a problem. Very commonly, we are technically minded folk. And so we can build our own solutions. And so we build a solution to solve our own problems and then get the wild idea that it might be good for the rest of the group. So I take it that's kind of what happened here.
Yeah, 100%. So Sync 365 actually started in 2019. End of 2019 was when we kind of brought it out and built it for ourselves and built it with a view to give value to the MSP space. So from then, it just kind of slowly, organically grew. It wasn't a big it was like the second business that came about next to the MSP. And over the last 2 years, I've shifted my time out of that MSP and actually exited it earlier this year. And so now Sync 365 is my new baby, and we've just been iterating on it and providing more and more value.
Well, congratulations on the exit. Now, what were some of the pain points, some of the problems that you were experiencing in your MSP that caused you to build Sync 365?
Yeah, well, so many MSPs will be familiar with this, especially around your billing and your accounts or clients querying invoices, because they're like, these accounts don't seem to line up with our staff. And a lot know that something's off, but you don't realize how much it is until it's automated and visible. So the major pain points have been around license changes in the middle of the month and no one catching that, or techs increasing licenses because they've got access to it, but then the billing doesn't get updated to months and months later. And those were some of the key bits and pieces that we were aiming to solve at the start.
Yeah. And, the MSP business, especially on the, I don't want to say lower end, but on the smaller SMB side, is much more consumption based than their larger counterparts. And I've seen it over and over again where, because it's more consumption based, clients expect those numbers to go up and down typically as their consumption increases and decreases.
100%. And a big leaky bucket that a lot of MSPs don't realize, if they're not prorating those changes during the month, they could be losing all of their license revenue by not capturing as they add different licenses during the month.
And it's not necessarily just about licenses either. When you're talking about other things, storage and SharePoint could go up and things like that, are hidden costs as well when they don't get caught by automation.
100%. So our view has been from the start where our focus is always adding value to MSPs. Our big, hairy, audacious goal that I set is that we want to save 1 million hours per month for MSPs. And so everything we work towards is around how do we save more time and just make the system work for you.
Okay, so then give me an example of how the average MSP would save time by deploying Sync 365 other than not having it.
Yeah, of course. So the three key areas are around Microsoft license billing, your Azure consumption, if you have lots of clients you're providing Azure for, and then also your managed services billing. So these are all areas we can take control of and help you out and automate each of those billing items, especially the Azure portion. Is if you're an indirect CSP, you'll probably realize if you've looked around, the only places that let you automate that is if you're a direct Microsoft partner, and there's a good reason for that. But that's also one thing that we've recently introduced is a solution for indirect CSPs to be able to do that automatically each month too.
Yeah, and a lot more MSPs are going to be indirect with Microsoft over the coming year. So that's an important thing to look for and solve for, because so many of these MSPs who have been direct in the past are being forced to go indirect in 2026.
Exactly. They're making some big changes with that, and we're already seeing some of our larger direct customers drop back to indirect because it's just a necessity for them now.
Yeah. So, okay. So we've talked about kind of what it does, where it saves some time, things like that. What are some of the things? Walk me through a standard maybe deployment of Sync 365. How easy is it for the MSP to put this in place?
Yeah, of course. So, one great new feature that we're working on at the moment is our new fully automated billing platform, which is going to be coming out first quarter of 2026. Where from that is you're going to be setting up your defaults for each of your licenses and your default contract or agreement in your PSA. And from there, we're going to automate that whole process of lining them all up. But prior to that, right now, it's still a fairly simple process. Once you sign up with us, you can connect your PSA. Currently, we integrate with ConnectWise, Autotask, and Halo PSA. And then you can link your Microsoft partner tenant, and we'll just pull in all of your contact list. Then we've got a fairly simplified process of setting up your billing profiles for each of the license types that you want to bill, and linking up your Microsoft tenants to your PSA customers. And from there, you can just select which licenses go to which agreement with the billing profiles, and then you're up and running. We very much take an approach of managed by exception. So the idea is you're going to get everything set up, and then we'll alert you on lots of different various things. So like if a new license pops up that's not syncing to an agreement, you get an alert. So you don't need to be spending hours reconciling every month.
Yeah, and that's the big time savings, right? Is in that reconciliation. So you're not only saving money by, making sure that you're billing for the licenses that are being consumed, but you're also making sure that your bills are accurate, and doing it automatedly. So you don't have to look at an invoice from Microsoft or Pax8 or whoever and say, oh, we need to, add this or add that or subtract this or subtract that. So it saves that amount of time. Plus, I imagine it saves a lot of time having to explain invoices to clients as well, because they're either wrong or the client just doesn't have the visibility.
That's exactly right. And that's one of the things we talk about a lot is transparency with clients and building that trust. So a couple of the features we have is one, you can add all of the usernames that are assigned to that license onto the invoices. So they've got a really easy reference on their invoice they get each month. The other is you can schedule a monthly report for the client that'll give them a breakdown of all of their licenses and who's assigned to that. And now one of our pretty unique features we have is custom licensing. So we have various different items from Microsoft Entra that you can pull in counts from and use that to bill things like your anti-spam, email signatures, software you deploy, and automate those counts as well. And those two can show up on your monthly reports to the customer.
That's really nice, because for those MSPs who don't want that much detail on the invoice itself, it provides automatically that detail in a separate, I assume, separate email that allows them to, if they have a question, reference that email before calling you.
Correct. And we do see a reduction in invoice queries with our clients that have rolled this out, where things are changing as the customer changes stuff, except for where new NCE stuff, you can't reduce licenses. But outside of that, especially with managed services, it follows it and they can see who the users they're getting billed for are. And it really helps with that just trust and transparency.
Yeah. And trust and transparency with smaller clients seems to matter more than when you go up market into larger clients. So that's really important, because you have small clients and you have a lot of them. if they're all asking you about their bill, that's extremely time consuming. And so I can understand how that would save a ton of time. Now, in the pre-show when we were getting ready for this, you said you guys had released a bunch of things just recently. Can you give me a little insight into what those are?
Yeah, certainly. So our most recent release is Azure Automated Billing, which is really exciting for us because it's we've been working pretty much over the last year to crack how we can provide this reliably for an indirect Microsoft partner. And our system previously was you could take your CSV from your distributor or direct from Microsoft, upload that once a month to us, and we process it, make it really nice and easy to understand for the clients, and post that to the PSA. Now, with the system we've just introduced this month in December 2025, is we've got a method that indirect CSPs can link up to each of their tenants that they provide Azure subscriptions for. And we'll pull in that information each month automatically. We'll also pull in any reserved instances where you can set their cost and sell price. And then each month, when that data is ready, you'll just get an email notification that you've got a bunch of approvals waiting. So you can come and approve that, and it'll post to the PSA. And there's also an option to auto approve those when you're happy with it going forward.
Awesome. And those auto approvals, I imagine, help a lot as well, in terms of uh, checking it now, but then once you know it's working correctly, you can set it to automate so that you save even more time.
That's 100% correct. And you get to escape all of that spreadsheet drama. If anyone's calculating their Azure consumption and markups and that absolute mess of CSVs you get.
Yeah, because we all, in fact, I would say most of us, not all, maybe, have to deal with getting data in CSV format, massaging it in some way to get it either into a PSA or some other kind of system to make sense out of it for somebody else. So I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, our customers do too.
Now, I assume that you guys have a roadmap of things that you're working on. Is there anything that you can share with us now?
The main one, we've just started up a relationship with Halo PSA, so we're also looking to expand. We've released our Azure Automated Billing with Halo PSA integration, and Q1 2026, we're planning to expand our full licensing integration with Halo as well. So that's kind of the Halo PSA aspect and our automated billing system. So it's largely hands off as our two big goals over the next quarter.
Awesome. That sounds like a pretty robust roadmap to be trying to get things rolled out. And are you looking at any other integrations?
We're taking it as it comes. The more requests we get for one, we've got a bit of a tally sheet for whenever we've had someone reach out about it. So, and we're just approaching that as we get some interest in each of them.
Okay. I mean, I would imagine that with Autotask, ConnectWise, and Halo, you have the vast majority of MSPs lumped into those three. So
Yeah.
I don't know that there would be a lot more to add to that unless they are maybe doing manual billing out of something directly, like out of QuickBooks or something. So
Yeah, and the other thing that we're actually putting our feelers out to the vendors on is for things like Atera or Synchro, where they don't have a solution for that, and seeing if we can look at becoming a bit of a partner and help them solve that issue.
yeah, I would imagine that anything where the amount goes up, either because of licenses or because of storage consumption or some type of consumption, where it just naturally grows over time, which in the case of storage, it has a very good tendency to do so. Those types of vendor partners would be ideal for you to be able to integrate with so that MSPs can keep a control over that expansion for themselves and for their clients.
Yeah, for sure. And there's so many different bits and pieces as an MSP as you add more tools to your stack and more variables. And so the more that we can automate and just have that billing up to date with what your customers are using, the more time you have and the more profitability you end up at the end of the year.
Awesome. Well, Leon, if somebody's interested in engaging Sync 365 to find out more, how do they do that?
So you can head to the website, sync365license.com. You can feel free to shoot me an email directly, leon.b@sync365.app, or connect with me on LinkedIn. If you look up Leon Black, you'll find me on there pretty easily. You can read about my skydiving world record. So happy to have a chat.
We should have opened with that. So now you got to tell me what the skydiving record is.
2024, I was on the skydiving world record, which it's called a total break sequential. We won't get into the details too much, but we did it in Arizona in November, and it was with 135 people.
Awesome. All right. Well, you learn something new about somebody every day. Leon, thanks so much for being here, and thanks for sharing.
Thanks, Eric. That was fantastic.